Hey, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to my channel update live for April 3rd, 2017. And thought I'd go through some of the stuff I've been working on and just kind of give you an update of where things are at with some of the video projects and answer any questions you guys might have. And let's see. Do an audio check real quick. So are you able to hear me okay? And I added some more switches, I should say. So it keeps getting noisier and noisier in this area. Alright, so to begin, just highlight some of the things. Obviously, my work projects have been kind of busy this week. I'm going out of town on Friday, so it's kind of been on crunch time, and so work and family obviously is my number one priority. So that's kind of set me back a little bit on some of the content I've been trying to get up. But one of the things, including for the SRST, is I've been also in the Freelab beta. Right now it's single site, and even though you can use SRST for like if the server fails and just to use it as a backup, which is kind of what my home network is set up for, in most realistic scenarios it's going to be because you have a remote site and you want remote site survivability, hence SRST. So I'm actually building out a second site to integrate with the Freelab beta, so when we go through the demos it'll actually simulate that remote site functionality that you can test out. Some of you have told me about dcloud, which I believe I have somewhere left up a session where basically like this is one I was working on for using the MRA troubleshooting. And essentially it's free. You can set up your own labs or presentations, and it works pretty well. But you can also use hardware-based routers for the VPN, and so I've integrated that into the Freelab beta, and so when we do some of the stuff with the dcloud, then when you're on the Freelab beta, if you want to use that anyway, there's going to be native integration. So once you're on that VPN, you don't have to do anything else. It's just going to tie in with the existing environment. So that's some of the things I've been testing with that. And let's see. So in the main issue now that I have with the MRA, if you're using the Cisco Jabber with any of the YouTube A through D accounts, is now it's saying server not reachable. So I got the authentication issue fixed, but there's still something not right with that. I went through, and that's another thing, I went through the MRA, even changed some of the configs so it's exactly the same as the simulated troubleshooting scenario, which everything checks out. So that's still the only hang up, but once I get that done, I'll be doing the full VCS configuration from scratch. It's just helps if it's fully functional before demoing it. So that's what I'm working on with that. And then also, since I had those RAID failures, I've been messing around with FreeNAS to use as multi-factor, not only for RAID storage, but then also to use some of the services like the TFTP, SFTP, things that I'm running on the Windows Server 2012 right now, because then if that VM host goes down, then there's reliant services there. So with the FreeNAS being free and having those services, gonna have a dedicated server for that, so that way if I run into any server issues again, we'll have that available as the main source. And also I'll probably put some videos together as far as if you want to run this at home, because it's actually pretty handy if you never used it before. And there's a new version 10 out. They call it Corral, but it's, from what I've seen in some of the forums online, it's been kind of buggy, but it's a first release, so that's why I'm sticking with 9.10 for now. And if you haven't used dcloud, I mean, you should check out dcloud Steve. He's got a lot more swagger than me. I mean, he probably should do the intros for my video. But yeah, he's pretty entertaining. Alright, so my to-do and projected videos, which I have the most requests for, are the how to configure SRST and the CUCM upgrades from previous versions, and the MRA VCS Expressway. So, like I say, I'm almost done with the server. Well, the server rebuild is pretty much done, but I'm adding that secondary site. Then that's when I'm gonna add do the actual SRST video to give you a more realistic WAN example rather than the LAN only single site example. And then the CUCM upgrades, I've had some people offer even to use their environment to do the videos to upgrade, which I may do. But in the meantime, I did, let's see if I can pull up. I do have the 10.5, because I know some of you want to do 10.5 to 11.5. But I'm also going to do from 8.6, because that's a bigger jump as far as VM modifications. So I'll probably do both in the same video. And in the miscellaneous, I got a new keyboard. I know some people have jingles at the beginning. A lot of the free stuff from YouTube. Couldn't really find anything, so I figured I'd make my own. And if you're a beginner, like, because I can't read music or anything, you can get some pretty cool sounds out of that. So I was going to just show some examples of that. And then for the vlog series, because I'm going to be going out of town, as you know, I've mentioned before anyway, that that E20 I set up. I'm going to set it up at my mom's house in Michigan. So I'll be flying out there and getting that set up, because she has the 88 or 881W router, hardware-based VPN. So I'm going to take some videos while I'm there and show how that's all set up, go through some of the configuration, and then also give a full tour of my home lab/production environment and how it all ties together, so you can see from here, from my house to the remote sites, how it all works, and like with the video intercom and all that. So I'll be splicing all that together once I get back. And that is pretty much where I'm at. So just wanted to leave this open for some questions and answers, and if you have them. And I have about 15 minutes. So another thing I was going to go through, if you guys are interested, is last night someone had commented on one of my videos showing the CTU ringtone, and they were having problems getting it converted. So one of the things I was going to do here is, since we have some time, is go through and test how you would actually do that. So I had them send me the file, which was just a CTU ringtone, and let's see if let's see here. I don't know if I didn't hear it on my filter here. Let's see. Basically, it's it's an MP3 file, and so if you want to have a custom ringtone, I went ahead and downloaded Audacity. I usually use either Audacity or Adobe Audition. Used to be Cool Edit Pro back in the day, back when they still had shareware and different things. But basically what you want to do in general is, so you open the file here, and you can see that it's stereo, 32-bit, 4100 hertz. So one of the first things you want to do is make sure that the sample rate is at 8000 hertz. And let's see, we want to edit. See, this is a newer version than the last time I used it. 1 second here. Okay, format 16-bit. We want to. Oh, this is still playing. The Jabber video. Are you referring to the RMA? So in the chat, asking about the Jabber video, and then see if you guys want to see, if you want to do any investigation yourselves with the SRST with the Freelab beta. Let me just show you real quick. But the live, that's another reason I'm doing these updates live, because anybody that's, if you have requests, that's going to take priority. So, let's see. Copy that. So just connect here real quick. Oops. So basically with the topology here, if you go and we click on the publisher, because I do have this kind of already started. Because the main difference is if you guys are using SRST and SIP, because the configuration's a little bit different. So if we log in here, if you go to the, and right now we only have one device pool, but essentially if you go down to SRST here, we got the CME router, which basically just has the IP and ports for Skinny and SIP, and we just called it CME router. And then if you go over to your device pool, you can see we just have the standard default. And then right here under the SRST reference, it's referencing the CME router. And then if we actually telnet into the router, so we can see our call manager fallback set up, and let's see. Then we have our voice register pool with the network ID, phone number, application preference. And then of course our dial peers. But like I say, this is on a single site right now. And I was just going to do a whole video from scratch with this, but like I say, based on this, where it would be applicable is if this cloud crashes, or loses connectivity for whatever reason on the same LAN, then the individual phones or soft phones on the remote desktop would then be able to register with the call manager and go out. But what I'm going to be doing is adding another cluster to simulate a remote site, so you can see it coming through the WAN and into the same cluster, and then breaking it that way, just because that's more of a real live scenario. Let's see. See how to configure SRST when your sites have dynamic IPs. Well, I guess it depends how your remote sites are connecting. If it's if you're using like a hardware-based VPN, or yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends how you're, because in that case it'd be how are your sites staying connected. If you have a specific example, because what I'm going to do is, like, for example, even at my mom's house, who has dynamic IPs, whenever it changes, I have to change the crypto map information each time it changes. So that may be something you would have to do. But like I say, if you have any specifics on your site setup, we can go over that. And I'll try to put in as many different scenarios. Like I say, for the SRST, there's also many different ways to do it. Uh-oh, I'm being summoned. Alright, that one I can call back. But yeah, it'll probably be when I get back. So I'll be back the week of the 17th, because I'm leaving Friday, but I'll have the remote site done this week, and then I can start the video when I get back in a couple weeks. But like I say, if you want to play around with the Freelab beta in the meantime, feel free to do that. Any other questions in the meantime? Oops. Yeah, I'm getting pinged. I had some technical issues earlier, so my available time is a little bit more limited right now. But let's see here, what I was going to do. Because there used to be a section where you could change this to mono. See, if I can't find it, I'll just post it in another video. But the main thing is, once it's converted and you go to export the audio, you want to make sure that you set it up in a RAW format to remove any of the headers, and for your codec to use the ULAW or ALAW. Okay, cool. And you can save as PCM or RAW. Remove any of this. Clear. and let's see. I don't think I have Audition on this one. Let me check one thing. Do you guys have any other questions in the meantime before I finish the audio change? Let's see. All right, so just split the track so it's left. PCM, export. All right, and then what you want to do is take your ringlist.dat file. So, oops, wrong keyword. Let's see, 202, 211. If you do port 6970, it should be ringlist.dat. And this is kind of the format for your custom ringtones, where you've got the name followed by the file name. So I can just save this as, ringlist.dat, and then we can add in '24 CTU, and let's see, what did I name it? CTU ring. We'll just do this on desktop, say CTU. Alright, so now we should have looks good. No. Like I say, a busy day today. Alright, so we'll just call this CTU.raw. We'll save that, and then when we go to our publisher, also connect to a remote desktop session here. If not, I can use one of the phones here. But let's just see if, let's see, settings, user preference, rings. Alright, so these have, these should be using the TFTP. So let's go into our OS administration. OS administration. And then under the TFTP file management, we will upload a file. And one, we'll upload our CTU raw file, put that in the main root directory, and then we will do the same for the ringlist.dat. Success. I just want to make sure that because it is case sensitive, so let's see. I'm just going to copy these because we may have to change the caps because this is Linux based, so it is sensitive. Or at least it sees lowercase and uppercase as unique file names. So let's see, then we'll go to our serviceability. Since all the TFTP files are in cache in the running memory, you have to restart the process. So go in here. And then under the call control, we go to our publisher since that's what everything currently is registered with. And it's the only one that has our TFTP server. That's the main thing. So we'll just go to our TFTP here and restart. Hey, what's going on, Orland? I'm just showing some, if you create your own custom ringtones, how to get them uploaded and restart the TFTP service so you can use them. So exit out here, go back in. See if we can see it now. One thing we can also verify is just double check the file here. So the ring list with the capital DAT does not have it. It's like none of these are showing it. Been there for 2 minutes. that should update real time. Oops. So let's see. Okay, so there it is. So I'm not sure why it's not showing up on this one. Because we should see that in order, because once then the TFTP refreshes, we should see that new list. I guess I should put Wireshark on these. So if you guys need to do some additional troubleshooting. Let me check with one of the hard phones here. 1 second. I have a 79. Of course, I left the battery die. I just plugged it in here. This is the 7925. Just to see if we can get the hard phone to pull. I'm not sure if I'd have to check. I thought the IP communicator uses the ringlist.dat, but I'm gonna try So on the web-based, because a lot of the newer phones too are using HTTP instead of TFTP, and it uses this port 6970 via HTTP and then the file name. You can see here with TFTP it is using the correct, or it's showing the updated file, but for some reason it's showing the wrong one on the web version. So let's see here. Oh, and I should mention too that the issue the person had is when they tried to convert it, then the audio wasn't it didn't play properly. So that's what we'll test here. All right, so all right, let's see. This probably won't have access from this. Let's see. So I'm going to try uploading with this same syntax, or with the capitals, because it was the ring list with the capital dat, and the lower one, which is the one I believe I uploaded. So I've not seen that happen before when you update it and it updates on TFTP but not through the web on port 6970, because they should be the same when you restart the service. So we'll close out of it. I guess it doesn't matter on Windows. So that's probably not gonna make a difference. So I'll have to check into that. Maybe that's let's say maybe that's the issue, but that wouldn't have anything to do with the audio. The main thing is you want to make sure there's no headers, 8-bit, 8,000 hertz, and I'll check into, or when I get done with work later this evening, I will play around with this some more, see if I can get the web to actually show the correct file format. Let's see, 2.1. It's just pulling the same one every time, because the case sensitive doesn't matter on HTTP. I was just trying, but not sure what's up with that. So was there any, before I wrapped it up, I'm actually a little bit over from what I was planning, but is there any other questions or requests or anything you want to see, especially when I get back from my trip? Because like I say, for now, the main ones are the SRST with the full actual multi-site, and because also a lot of other requests coming in are for scenarios where it'd be more practical to have multi-site, so making that a priority to get that in, so that way when I give you the examples, it'll be more relevant. And like I say, the upgrades, and then once I figure out what's going on with that VCS Expressway, I will have the full, completely from scratch configuration end to end. So if you have any other requests or things you want done first, I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff I plan on doing. These are just what people have been requesting, and obviously requests are going to take priority over just other random ones I plan on doing. So All right. Well, if not, I will wrap this up, and like I say, I will add a annotation on the, or not an annotation. I guess they have cards now. They're getting rid of annotations, but I'll just make an update when I figure out what's going on with that TFTP. And the main thing I wanted to show with that in test is if the audio sample sounds correct, because that's what the other person was having trouble with. So I will work on that, and then keep you guys updated, and I'll put a card link on there with a short updated video, because some of the videos that I amend, they won't be searchable, just because they're for things like this, where we can it wouldn't make sense if someone just stumbled upon it. So I have them as unlisted and then just referenced in the other, embedded in the video you're currently watching. Figure that's the way for those of you that watch these update videos. It makes more sense anyway. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks again as always, and I will probably update again later this evening with what I find with that, and then, like I say, I'll be having the full lab stuff and some of the vlogs once I leave next week, and go from there. So, thanks as always, and I will see you guys in the next video.